Avoid rubbing your eyes. Tennis for men will never be the same again. Recently, an adolescent achieved victory and rose to the top of the globe. However, putting aside all the commotion, how talented is Carlos Alcaraz really? Carlos Garcia is a wonderful child who was born in Mestalla in Spain in 2003. For those of you who are unfamiliar with him. Welcome to Tennis Experts, the place where you can know all about tennis. In today's video, we will see how Carlos Alcaraz is going to be the next future GOAT. So let's get into it. It was only logical that Alcaraz would have been interested in tennis given that his father, Carlos, was the director of a tennis academy, a legitimate society, Club de Capo de Marsella, and was previously ranked among the top 40 players in Spain. Our boy was already playing tennis when he was 4 years old. His heroes growing up were Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. By 2018, he had joined the academy of Juan Carlos Ferreira, a former world champion. It would make the beginning of a wonderful alliance. But first, let's go over some forecasts made by legends and other players about Alcaraz before we discuss how far this relationship has brought him. It's still early on Monday, September 12th of 2022, so let's hear what the athletes and legends have to say. Alcaraz, who is tucked in, rechecks his phone to confirm that he is now tennis world's top player, but many had anticipated it. Let's go over a few of the forecasts that were made. He's got the whole package, and I know I'm just repeating myself when I say he'll win multiple Grand Slams, as noted by 18-time Grand Slam champion Chris Evert. He might, though, reach double digits in Grand Slam titles and take the top spot. After his defeat by Alcaraz the previous year, there's nothing, in my opinion, that can stop him from being successful. I wouldn't be surprised if he did extremely well in a slam and was able to win long matches, like long 5-set matches already. The former world number 1 Andy Murray added. He appears to be extremely physically robust. He certainly moves very well on the court as well. Excellent guess, Andy. In 5 sets, he battled Chilicella and Tiafoe to the bitter end. Jim Courier had the following to say about the 6-foot Spaniard. He alters a lot of things, he is imaginative, and since he has so many alternatives, it's easy to get enthusiastic about this player. There is no better way to summarize all of these ideas and forecasts than to point to Rafael Nadal. A great player needs a lot of different components, so nothing in this life is simple, and competing for the most prestigious titles while being one of the finest players in the world is a really difficult feat, but I firmly believe he is going to be one of the men that can pull it off. Just a few months ago, we were gushing about Alcaraz as being the next big thing. It appears that he's outdone himself. In this regard, things started to become a little bit more intriguing. He didn't require any years as a journeyman to advance. After losing a few Grand Slam titles, he didn't need to play one. Alcaraz turned professional in 2018, but only a select few players, including Rafael Nadal, Michael Chang, Pete Severus, Boris Becker, and a few others, have experienced what it's like to be in that position. He also began at the bottom of the food chain, much like many other professional athletes do. He soon advanced to the ATP Challenger Tour, where, by February of 2020, he had won 4 more titles after winning 3 titles on the ITF World Tennis Tour. Carlos was prepared for the big stage when he was just 16 years old. In the Rio Open, he made his ATP debut. He was defeated in the second round by Federico Coria, so it wasn't exactly a fairy tale start. Things kind of slowed down for a bit when the pandemic arrived. However, Carlos was the youngest competitor at the 2021 Australian Open thanks to his consistent play and advancements. He defeated another qualifier in the first round of the Grand Slam debut to win it, but he also lost the following round. In the second round of the Madrid Open, Alcaraz faced a fellow countryman Rafael Nadal, who was rough and twice his age. He took part and became the youngest player to enter the top 100, despite losing a cumulative number of points from the lower-ranked tours and numerous tournaments. So do you think you can defeat Carlos? Well, if you're enjoying this video, then smash the like button before he smashes you. Just kidding. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so that you won't miss any more videos. Moving on. Alcaraz defeated Richard Gasquet on May 24th of last year to win his first title at Hume, and 2 months later, he advanced to his first ATP Tour final. He became the youngest to do so by the end of the year after making a strong run into the US Open quarterfinals. He had beaten 3 players ranked in the top 10. Before the huge game at the Arthritic Stadium, the team had already arrived with 5 championship trophies from Miami, Madrid, Rio de Janeiro, and Barcelona. 1000s are made in the slam, and Alcaraz's consistency throughout all competitions was sufficient enough to propel him to the top spot. Let's not forget that at the start of the year, he wasn't even in the top 20. To be the greatest though, you must defeat the best, which is exactly what the current world number 1 did in Madrid. In the same clay court tournament, he became the first man to defeat Nadal and Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals and semifinals before winning the match against the defending champion Alexander Zverev in the championship match. He did this by eliminating the top 3 seeds in the competition. Alcaraz, however, has a penchant for eliminating top seeds. Let's analyze how his successful formula compares to the current big 3 in the sport. Nadal began his professional career at the age of 15, winning 16 titles, including 2 Grand Slams and rising to world number 2 before the age of 20, but only topped the international rankings at age 22. At the age 16, Djokovic entered the professional ranks in 2003. Nonetheless, it took him until he was 19 before he could claim his first ATP championship. He once held the 63rd spot in the world rankings. At the age of 20, he lost his first Grand Slam final. A few months later, he won one, but only topped the world rankings once he was 24 years old. He only broke into top 10 when he was almost 21. We have Alcaraz with his half-dozen ATP victories and number 1 ranking at 19 years old before winning his first Grand Slam, but a quick succession and a 5-year reign would follow. Because of how much the Spaniard's career trajectory has so far resembled Nadal's, some fans have even started to follow him. He is unique since he has accomplished this on a variety of surfaces and environmental factors. The Spanish player's exceptional athleticism allows him to cover the entire court before switching to his strong and consistent forehand. No more unearned points for the young Spaniard. Alcaraz can switch from being on the back foot and chasing sharply angled balls to going inside out on his forehand in the blink of an eye, with the exception of returning volleys and overheads thanks to high peak foot speeds, quick lateral movements, and a never say die attitude. In the final, 61 of his 320 ground strokes were forehanded. To illustrate how dependent our Alcaraz is on his forehand, even half of those 195 shots were run around forehands. Carlos, an all-court player, can rely on his destructive forehand, which he can alter by adding topspin or a cleverly disguised drop shot to save him and free up the court position for winners. His playing style frequently causes opponents to make careless mistakes. Against Alcaraz, Little Wonder, Chilch Sinner, and Tiafoe combined for 181 unforced errors. Early on, he frequently puts opponents far behind him, giving him the time to take better positions or just start over. In the US Open, Alcaraz engaged in the style of play for a total of 23 hours and 39 minutes. Carlos's coach triumphed. According to Ferrero, Alcaraz only bought 60 of his game, who couldn't conceive of what 100 might look like. Perhaps Djokovic and Nadal aren't finished yet either, and one could counter. But don't discount Alcaraz's humility, his lack of temper tantrums, his brilliant tennis IQ, Novak Djokovic's tenacity, or Rafael's willpower. What else? He has maintained exceptionally high levels of tennis and is a fantastic sportsman. If Carlos can develop his backhand closeout points more quickly and avoid injuries, he will have everything. To determine the best player of the upcoming decades, tiebreakers would not be necessary. There would be just one number 1. So that is all for today. What do you love most about Carlos Alcaraz? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, smash that subscribe button. Also tap the bell icon so you won't miss out any other videos. If you want to see more videos like these, don't worry, just check our playlist. We will see you next time, so goodbye.